Welcome learners. In this entire module, we'll be covering the entire user experience, or you can say the designing of the app. In the last session, I got you in the entire state management principle wherein we understood providers. In this entire module, I'm going to take in a sample design, then stick to the entire sample design and create the app around it. We will do necessary changes as we will be stepping into more and more designs that will be decorative and it will be pleasing to the eye. As in the last session, I just dumped a red color delete icon followed by a black color edit icon, and that is a terrible user design. You should be having all the apps in a bit decorative way that your app or that your users would love to use. Stay tuned and we'll figure it out how we can do it in a better way. In this session, I'm going to lay down the blueprint of my entire module. My prime emphasis is going to be on something called as user experience. Now, when we were designing our app onto state management, I kind of put some weird designs which basically had just input fields. All buttons were placed entirely all over the screen and it was kind of haphazard, the entire design. Well, in this case, I'm going to improvise on the design and will be creating something of this sort. Wait, there's more to it. What I'll try and do is uninstall the app and then run the app from the very beginning. You would notice that companies often try to highlight their app features. Of course, why would otherwise the users install the app? So we are going to cover how we can add app feature designs into the entire user experience. Then we'll be focusing upon a slightly better design principle. Now, what do you mean by slightly better design principle? Let's say when you open any professionally created app like WhatsApp, Zomato or Uber, you'll notice there is a uniformity in the screen design. How to create that uniformity is exactly that better design principle. So let me just show you my app wherein we have this up to do as the app name, and then it shows this features of the app. It basically says with the app I can manage my task, create my daily routine and also organize them. Well, it also has a subtitle and followed by this neatly developed bulletins. Now you'll notice that this is way much more design or way much more having a rich color combination than our usual to-do app. Well, I'm not going to surprise because that's going to be the entire to-do app which we have carried forward from the last module, wherein now the screen design has changed and it will look something of this sort. Over here we get to see the task description that you have in your hand, then followed by what would be the time duration and even assign a priority. Wait, once I accomplish the task, I can swipe over here and then remove that particular task. If I don't want to remove, I can just keep it of this way wherein I can either delete it or either edit it. If I want to add a new task, I'll click on the floating action button and have this kind of a add new task screen, wherein you'll notice that if I try to have any task description, let me put some gibberish text, and like WhatsApp, you'll see this screen to have a scrolling behavior, or in fact this field to have a scrolling behavior. It also has a counter which kind of keeps a track of how many characters you can put inside a task description. Next, over here you can click on one particular task and mark it as important, urgent, or not important and urgent depending upon your priority of the task. Then you can choose this timer wherein you can see that you want to achieve this task at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then it will show up over here. All this along with the screen design I have curated, keeping in mind that it should be according to different dimensions of phone. Hence, if you would notice that if there is a keyboard which coming up and all the items behind the keyboard is being hidden, this part of the screen then starts to scroll. If the keyboard is now being collapsed, you'll notice that the screen stops to scroll. All this contributes to a way much more good user experience. All these things along with the screen design, step by step, I'm going to achieve in this particular module. So keep learning. The demonstration seems to be very exciting, as we are going to stick to the demonstration that I showed on my screen design and will be creating an app around it. You should be kind of feeling satisfied. That's because you can hone your app designing skills, put your imagination, and create an app that would surely work onto every device. You can even try experimenting with a color combination, or in fact more items that can suit to your needs. All this thing in more detail will be covering up starting next class. See you there.